It is Monday, November 4th, my weather weenies. Let's do a little bit of a hurricane forecast update. All right, this little mess right here to the south of like Cuba and Jamaica is number 18. This will be our next storm. Here's a quick look at that path of uncertainty, this cone of uncertainty. So seeing we're going to have a tropical storm, probably reach hurricane strength as it passes over western Cuba. But models do seem to indicate that it is actually going to weaken again before potential landfall somewhere in the Gulf. Forecast discussion says it's getting organized today. It doesn't have a real defined center of circulation, but these are all things that they expect to increase or it to develop here as time goes on later today and tomorrow. Forecast models are really split at what's going to happen to this thing when it enters the Gulf, seeing sort of a big group of the models, including the U.S. models like the GFS and such, showing it going kind of north, northwest, but seeing a south or like a westerly turn or maybe even a southwesterly turn in the U.K. Models and the ECMWF models and stuff like that. And all that's dependent on what's going to be happening broadly throughout the environment. And so just still really too early to say if we can focus on a landfall area yet. Also stating significant uncertainty in intensity forecast because it's going to be going over a warm ocean with very low wind shear. And so this is definitely an area where we're expecting this to form into a hurricane. But just how strong and how fast and all that, really hard to say with this storm. And here's showing that spread of models, feeling really confident about this northwesterly direction passing over western Cuba. But once it gets up here, here's where all the uncertainty lies. And then there's that guy. Same thing here, and a lot of uncertainty down here too, because once again, it just kind of depends when it develops its center of circulation, how strong it gets and when is really going to determine what happens here. But general agreement until we get to this point, and then, it's just a little wild. And same, this is why we call them spaghetti plots. Intensity forecasts, models definitely, most of them saying, hey, okay, definitely Cat 1, this one or two maybe saying Cat 2 strength. And then there's that guy that's saying possibly even more. So definitely expecting a hurricane at some point, but then also seeing that really degrade and drop here. Hopefully around time it would make landfall here within the U.S. So if we take a look at what the GFS model's saying, you see it goes through there, and then it's showing kind of like a Mississippi Gulf Coast panhandle kind of landfall right in this location. Also interesting thing in the GFS here is noting this little tiny bit of a circulation here that's coming through. This could just be like a random storm or what have you, but maybe even could be a little depression. So something that I'm not seeing a lot of discussion of, just keep that in mind here. But this is what the GFS model says. The Euro AI model has it doing that northwesterly, and then see that like westerly shift and would be more of a eastern Louisiana landfall. The Euro model being kind of one of the big exceptions here, where it really doesn't even come close, except for, southern Texas location. Some more info to come. A lot of uncertainty still right now. We know there's going to be a storm, but as for how strong it's going to get or where it's going to go, we just can't quite say yet.